I think he's fantastic. He's brought the Bulls, he's doing everything for them. All you hear is about Michael Jordan, and I've watched him since he was a rookie. He's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. He does everything. It's like the Walter Payton of Chicago, only now it's basketball.
Well, as little as Isaiah is, we'd have to call him a peanut. Kind of soft on the outside. You break him down on the inside. He's 4 complete players. He runs the floor. Point man, he can score and he can dish it off.
I believe that Michael Jordan is the most intelligent and gorgeous basketball player in the NBA.
Well, Isaiah has company. Michael Jordan doesn't. That about says it.
TBS Sports presents NBA basketball, America's game. Tonight's game is brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft taste. It's as real as it gets. By Jeep and Eagle, the official vehicles of the NBA. There's a feeling you get only in a Jeep. By Wendy's, the best burgers in the business. And by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Hello again, everybody. Along with Steve Jones, Skip Carey welcoming you to another night of NBA basketball from the jam-packed Chicago Stadium. A couple of the teams that like to bang one another around in the Central Division, the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons get together. Steve Jones, Detroit has the better record, but lately Chicago's been playing the better basketball.
Well, Chicago is a hotter team, and if you looked at both of the records, we reached 40 games in the season. So that means tonight it's the 41st, and teams now really begin to jockey for playoff position. Chicago, they've gotten better balance with Michael Jordan. They found Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. They're playing much better basketball, and Doug Collins feels good about the way the team is playing. For who is that guy, Chuck Daly? Well, he is really concerned about the way his team is playing without Joe Dumars. They have struggled defensively, and that's the big question tonight. Who will guard Michael Jordan?
What's the answer to that question? You got any ideas? Put yourself in the coach's position for a minute.
Well, I'd grab a big galoot like you. That's what I'd do. I'll tell you, I think what he's going to try to do is use Benny Johnson as much as he can and then come back with Dennis Rodman in the second part of the ball game.
This should be a heck of a game. We hope you'll stay with us. Right now, back to our studios in Atlanta and our colleague Craig Sager. Craig?
Thanks, Skip and Steve. Trade rumors continue to encircle the Detroit Pistons. Darryl Dawkins has been offered a contract to play for a club team in Spain coached by Alec Amelsky of the Soviet Union. Dawkins would be released from his contract with the Pistons. He would be paid $150,000 for the remainder of the season. He has until Friday to decide. The Pistons would then have flexibility within the salary cap to pursue their talks with Dallas for Mark Aguirre. Dawkins would be an unrestricted free agent next year and would probably sign with a new expansion team in Orlando. I'll be back at halftime. Stay tuned for the Pistons and the Bulls.
We've had the introduction of the starting lineups here, and now we will give them to you as the capacity crowd continues to file in to the Chicago Stadium. Adrian Dantley, trade rumors swirl about him. John Sally gets a start tonight. Rick Mahorn bothered with some back spasms. Bill Laimbeer back after a one-game suspension, and there's Chuck Daly, the coach of the Detroit team, and he's a very, very good one. No surprises in that Chicago lineup. And Doug Collins does a fine job as their coach as well. The officials, the veteran is Joe Crawford. Ron Gerritsen and Rusty Herring join him. And we're ready to go, and we sincerely hope that you'll enjoy it and that you'll be with us on Friday night as well when we have Detroit once more from Philadelphia at 8:05. Cartwright will jump it. Probably against Sally.
The Bulls would like to thank Edmonds for sponsoring tonight's Bulls basketball cards giveaway.
Ron Gerritsen will toss it. Isaiah Thomas, a Chicago lad, brings it up the floor. Dantley against Pippen. Thomas against Sam Vincent. Vinnie Johnson against nobody at the moment, but he missed. Jordan from Cartwright. Almost stolen by Sally. Thomas runs out. Vincent all by himself. There's Jordan. Lane Beer the rebound. Still scoreless. Dantley works against Pippen. They clear the zone for him. Isaiah Thomas rims the basket. John Sally. It's 2-0. John wants to be remembered to his folks looking in Atlanta tonight. And he says hi to him with the first basket of the game. Vincent from 19, shot at 18. Lane Beer the rebound.
Well, Skip, it's obvious that these players were outside. The weather is too nice today, and their minds are not on the shooting. They get another good inside attempt for Isaiah Thomas, but every shot has come from the perimeter. Players have been uncovered. They haven't been able to get anything done. The Pistons have gotten 2 chances inside. What you'd like to see is some good pressure on the ball when teams are struggling, and we'll see if the Detroit Pistons do that.
Cartwright gives it back to Vincent. Out top, Scottie Pippen down the middle. For Horace Grant. And the turnover gives it back to Chicago. We have 10:09 left in the first quarter. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from the Chicago Stadium. There's a look at the score. Chicago with a chance to tie the game. Grant, baseline, no. Dantley the rebound. Isaiah Thomas up the floor. Dantley thinks about it, takes the set shot. Won't go. Cartwright the rebound. Again, Chicago can tie the game. Pippen, what a move, but he missed. Maybe a foul on Sally. That's what it is. Reaching up.
We mentioned earlier that the Chicago Bulls have had a great deal of success, and one of the reasons is Scottie Pippen. His game has been getting better since he returned after having the problems earlier in the season. He missed that chance. You get the hold after the miss.
Jordan on the baseline, leaves it for Grant. Pippen. 3-second violation. Bill Cartwright.
But Skip, both teams here early seem to have a little bit of reservation about what they want to do. They're getting shot opportunities, but they don't seem to be the ones that they want to take. They're taking them anyway, and a lot of that has to do with shot-making ability. E, you're on it tonight. Both teams, about 5 or 6 shots apiece, and 2 of them have gone down for Detroit.
A Vinnie Johnson air ball. Jordan at the other end. Great pass to Grant. That ties it at 4-4. 9 minutes left, first quarter. Again, Dantley one-on-one. Jordan goes over to give him some help. Lane Beer throws it out of bounds. Chicago with a chance to take the lead. Sam Vincent works against Isaiah Thomas. Scottie Pippen against Dantley. Grant with it. Pippen into the lane. Spins it out to Michael. An air ball. Lane Beer the rebound. Vinnie Johnson in the open floor. Against Vincent, and a foul. They'll shoot 2. Crowd wanted to travel, and there was one, but after the foul.
Sam Vincent, that's his first, team's first. Vinnie Johnson shoots 2.
Vinnie Johnson to the line to shoot 2.
Well, it happens to the best. Jordan with an air ball, and that got the Detroit Pistons in transition and gave them a chance to get an easy hoop. And that's one of the things the Pistons have not done a lot this year, is get a lot of easy baskets. They have won, as we take a look at the brain trust. Chuck Daly sends a lot of guys to the pros, but I'll tell you what, if you're a friend of his, you don't want to go to the teams they've been to.
Brendan Malone on his right, on the right of the picture, and Brendan Surr on the left. 5-4 Pistons with 8:15 left first quarter. Kicked ball by Thomas, new 24. 8:16 remaining in the first period.
But, you know, to finish the thought about the Pistons, that's one of the reasons that they have struggled a little bit this year, because they're not scoring as many points as they were last season.
Scottie Pippen from about 20. And the Bulls enjoy their first lead of the night at 6-5. Isaiah pulls up, lets her rip, won't go. Grant the rebound. Sam Vincent. Michael Jordan. And a foul. Sally, second foul.
The question with Jordan is when he will begin to score and what types of shots he will make. A difficult try from the baseline. He gets it to roll in, and now he has a chance for a three-point play. But those are the kind of shots that can get him started on an awesome offensive night. He's got the three-point play.
Rick Mahorn with the bad back, about to check in for Sally, who has 2 quick fouls, and he was not sitting. The call was a good one. Grant knocked that away. Sally almost committed his third foul. Mahorn into the game. Sally goes out.
Well, they like John Sally a lot. The problem that they feel he has right now is he can't finish plays. So when he gets in offensive position, because he doesn't have enough strength to finish the play, we take a look at Rick Mahorn. Isaiah Thomas over the top.
Makes it 9-7. Chicago has the lead in the ball with 7.5 left in the first. Cartwright screams for it, and the pivot, Isaiah knocked it away, had the foul to do it.
Well, Isaiah Thomas is first. Team's
Isaiah not enchanted with the call. His first 13 foul.
When you get those kinds of calls, then you got to turn the screw in your mind to say it's going to be that kind of night and really pay attention to the kinds of defensive plays you try to make. Cartwright with 2.
7:15 remaining in the first quarter. Bulls lead at 11-7. Dantley against Cartwright. Set shot. Short. Horace Grant has had a big first quarter. Sam Vincent up the floor. Benny Johnson out of there with it. His pass intercepted by Jordan. He can fly. For Grant. Perfect. Mr. Jordan doing the other things tonight. It's 13-7.
Well, Jordan leads the league in steals, and he shows you why, because he can cover a lot of ground very quickly, and that gets the Bulls an easy opportunity, and the Pistons are still having a tough time getting it down.
Grant finally corrals it. Bounced off the official on the other side. Benny Johnson comes out of there with it. Nowhere near. Foul, Mahorn. Chicago calls timeout. 6:12 left in the quarter. So far, Chicago is rolling.
Season so far for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the team will be well represented at the February 12th All-Star Game in Houston. This afternoon, guard Mark Price, forward Larry Nance, and center Brad Doherty were added to the Eastern team along with Mark Jackson and Patrick Ewing of the Knicks, forwards Terry Cummings of Milwaukee, and Kevin McHale of Boston. The West reserves will be announced tomorrow. Back to Skip and Steve.
Okay, Craig, thank you. Speaking of that All-Star weekend, you know, Bobby Jones must be licking his chops, huh? He'll probably play Rick Barry in the Legends Classic.
Yeah, that should be one of those classic matchups, and I think in this case, the defense might win.
I know Rick's very concerned about it. He's been working out and everything.
Well, you see what offense has done for the for the Detroit Pistons. It's gone downhill, and they're very concerned about it. James Edwards in the ball game to match up against Bill Cartwright.
Jordan hangs in the air, banks it up too hard. Rebound, Mahorn. Isaiah Thomas. Banks it high off the glass. Nice shot. 13-9. 5:45 left in the first quarter. Pippen coast to coast. He's so much more aggressive this year than he was as a rookie. That's the development you look for in a young player.
Well, Pippen has meant the same thing to the Bulls as Derek McKee has meant to the Seattle Supersonics. They're multiple dimension players who can do a lot of things, and they're both playing with a great deal of confidence. Edwards is going to pick up the personal foul against Bill Cartwright. The crowd here feels as though Edwards was the instigator in that contact.
Dennis Rodman checks in. Rick Mahorn out for Detroit. Mahorn's trip into the game is a short one. I don't know if the back is bothering him again or not.
Probably more of a matchup situation. You look at that team that Chicago has out there. It's a quick team.
Offensive foul ball.
That's an offensive foul on Pippen drawn by Dantley. That time he got a little too aggressive. 5:10 left, quarter number one. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from the Chicago Stadium. Craig Sager in our studios back in Atlanta. I'll keep you up to date on all the other NBA info of the night. Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas is playing in front of the home folks and looks like he plans on putting on a show, and he's keeping the Pistons in the ball game right now. Vincent.
Jordan got him the ball. 4:45 left. Bulls 17, Pistons 11. Thomas across the line against Vincent. Edwards draws a double T. Steal by Jordan. Vincent loses it. Edwards has it. Dantley on the way. He hasn't gotten on track yet. They went to him early trying to get him unleashed. They couldn't do it. Foul is going to be, I think, on Pippen. Let's see.
Well, Dantley ideally likes to have a clear side in isolation to work on, so he can either get the quick first step and explode into the middle, or get the man off his feet and shoot over the top. He draws a foul against Scottie Pippen. That is his
second. Jack Haley checks into the game, a rookie out of UCLA. Dantley works one-on-one against Grant, hammers it to Benny Johnson. The open jump.
Benny Johnson.
17-13. 4:05 left in the quarter. Jordan fumbles it away, but Vincent recovers. Cartwright in the hole. Drew the foul, missed the shot. Edwards got him 2 shots.
The foul on James Edwards, his first penalty.
It's bonus time as well, but a 2-shot opportunity for Bill Cartwright with 3:49 left in the first quarter.
Now, Cartwright has, throughout his career, been able to get to the free throw line quite a few times. Did a good job of getting Edwards off of his feet. And the problem that you have is both of those guys are turnaround jump shooters, and they realize that once they get the ball, the shot is going in the air. Edwards tried to make the block. This has been a big comeback season for Bill Cartwright.
19-13 is the score.
See, there's the problem that the Pistons have felt they've had a lot with Rodman. He turns down a lot of initial opportunities, made a good, strong move after, but he was right there at the basket on that first pass and decided not to take the shot. Now you watch Rodman come across the middle real strong with the left hand, almost get it in. Ball doesn't stay.
Benny Johnson against Michael Jordan. Really honks it.
Well, Benny's having a tough time tonight. He's wide open right there.
And a foul. Vincent got it.
The foul on Sam Vincent. That's his second. Team's fourth.
Second foul on Vincent. So Vincent, Pippen, and Sally all saddled with 2 fouls to this point. John Paxson about to check into the game for Chicago. Next time play is halted. 19-16 is our score. Vincent works against Thomas, shoots the jumper over it. Bingo. 21-16, 3:05 in the quarter. Edwards in a miss and a foul. Cartwright Cartwright blocked it with some gusto.
Timeout, Detroit.
But a foul had been called. Timeout on the floor. 2:54 left in the first quarter. The Bulls lead the Pistons. It's 21-16.
Coca-Cola, catch the wave.
A lot of rumors swirling around about Mark Aguirre being traded over to Detroit and Adrian Dantley perhaps going to Dallas. We asked Chuck Daly a hypothetical question before the game about if such a deal were done, would he be able to get along with the sometimes moody Aguirre? Here's his answer.
Well, I heard the same thing when Adrian Dantley came to our club, and I have no preconceived notions about people. I try to work along those lines. Besides, I'm such an easy guy to get along with. I can't imagine anyone having problems with me.
Okay, Chuck.
I heard the same thing about you, moody and temperamental. I can't imagine that.
You never heard that about me. I am a little moody, though. Edwards makes the first free throw. You drive, and I have to pay $8 for you to park your car. 21-18 is the score. Those yo-yos down in accounting are really going to go nuts when they see that one.
And you know, you notice in this ball game that one team is having an easier time scoring than the other, and that is the Chicago Bulls in the white. And it seems as though the defense has not taken place for the Detroit Pistons yet. They find Haley, he airs it to Dennis Rodman.
That was a definite air ball, and here comes Isaiah Thomas. Stops and pops, in and out. Rodman battles for it. Grant wins the duel. John Paxson up the floor. 2:13 in the quarter. Paxson for two. Got none. Rebound Grant. No. He gets another chance. Yes. Horace Grant now with 6 points. It's 23-18 with a minute 55 left in the period.
Dantley wants it against Haley. He's able to draw the foul as he had a good post-up position. Haley tried to body him out.
That is his first in the penalty.
And Dave Corzine into the game. Bill Cartwright goes out. On the Wendy's NBA scoreboard, New York has a slim lead over Indiana. Boston likewise over the Bullets. And Cleveland, well, they just keep rolling along. Dantley makes the first, tries again. That's an interesting stat. They love to get him at the foul line, but he's murder from there.
Well, that's been the staple of his scoring throughout his career. The fact that he could get to the line 12 to 14 times and get big numbers for his team. And the NBA as a whole has now tried to force Dantley to shoot the ball over the top.
23-20 is our score. Chicago has the lead and the ball. A minute 35 left. First quarter, Jordan triple pumps. Finds Grant again. Grant has 8. Jordan is putting on some display of passing the spheroid.
Well, the one thing that Grant is doing to help Jordan out, he's making himself available. Notice how aggressive the Chicago Bulls are at the defensive end, and that's thrown the Pistons out of what they want to do. They get a good pass inside for James Edwards to drive it home, but they're having a tough time getting into their offensive set.
We're near the 1 minute mark in the first quarter. Corzine swings it to Jordan. Yes.
Michael Jordan.
Over Vinnie Johnson. Brad Sellers about to check into the Chicago lineup. Jordan now with 5 points. Set shot. This time Dantley drills it. 27-24. 43 seconds left first quarter. That was Dantley's first field goal. He has 4 points.
And even though the Pistons have struggled as Jordan comes in on the penetration, they're still in a very competitive position, down 5.
Dantley with 26 seconds in the quarter.
And notice how they double team at the point of attack. They've got Corzine and Hadley out there. That means someone's open, Rodman inside, but they don't get him the ball.
Isaiah Thomas makes it with 15 seconds left, and now Chicago can and will play for the final shot of the quarter. They have all that time remaining. They want to shoot it about now, I would think. The quarter is over. The tip does not count. And after one, the Bulls lead Detroit 29-26. Somewhat a high-scoring game for these two teams. We'll be back.
Even though the Chicago Bulls only have a 3-point advantage, they dominated the first period of play with their defense. It was alert, it was aggressive. You see they double team, and that's very disruptive to what the Detroit Pistons want to do. Almost every time the ball is passed, they've got hands in the face, a broken play, and a good pass inside from Dennis Rodman to James Edwards. That's going to make it a tough night of scoring. We look at the shooting percentages. Both teams started off slowly. They've improved dramatically. The rebounds are in favor of the Chicago Bulls, and Horace Grant has 9 of the 13 rebounds. Turnovers are almost even.
And you did a remarkable job of looking at the Minute Maid orange soft drink stats.
Maybe someone will bring us one down.
You didn't even fizzle as you read those stats. Scottie Pippen.
He's back in the game with Corzine. That's a different kind of a center position. He and Lambier are very similar, so we'll see how those two match up tonight. Craig Hodges in for the first time, and he likes to play exclusively around the three-point area.
7 on the shot clock as Chicago inbounds. 4, 3, 2, 1. 24-second violation, but Sellers caught the ball out of bounds anyway, so either one way or another, Detroit's going to get the ball.
24-second violation.
Michael Williams, the rookie out of Baylor, in the game for Detroit. He brings it up the floor. 9 turnovers in the game. Chicago has 5 of them.
Now, when Isaiah Thomas goes to the 2 position, he accelerates his shooting opportunities and comes right out of the chute looking at the basket. He's got 12 in the ball game after having a 10-point first period.
29-28 is the score. He is 6 out of 8 from the field as well. Sellers over the smaller Dantley, but he missed. Dennis Rodman the rebound. Williams up the floor against Paxson. Detroit can take the lead with a hoop here. Thomas for 2, got none. Rebound Hodges. Pippen down Peachtree.
Well, he did everything right, but finished the play.
Dantley works the right side. Williams from 20. No. Rebound, Craig Hodges. Behind the back, down the middle. Offensive foul. Williams took the punishment and drew it.
If you saw the Chicago Bulls play earlier like we did when they played the Charlotte Hornets, they weren't getting a lot of transition opportunities. They're getting them tonight. One of the reasons they're getting more chances, the Pistons are shooting the ball from the perimeter. They're missing. They're pushing the ball up the floor. The last 2 times, they've come up dry.
John Sally back into the game. Dantley takes a rest. Williams on the pass off is fouled by Paxson.
That was on John Paxson.
Rusty Herring, the official, with the call.
Isaiah Thomas is a hot hand for the Pistons, and undoubtedly, along with Lambier, is going to have to carry the offensive load.
Isaiah rolls it to Sally.
On the baseline, turnover.
He stepped on the end line, and the ball goes back to Chicago. Still 29-28 Bulls, 10-10 left till halftime. At the conclusion, excuse me, Steve, but at the conclusion of the game, you will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game.
Well, if you don't get in and try to influence,
I never do that.
Corzine.
The baseline jumper for Corzine. It's 31-28 with 9:50 left in the half. You won't even come up with 4 of those $8 for the parking. Sellers the steal. Footer Corzine, not this time. The tip is fed by Sellers. Over Rodman. Williams up the floor. It's 33-28 Chicago.
They're doubling almost every time, and what Detroit is going to have to do is look inside. Sally working against Pippen.
Yes.
Spider Sally.
33-30, 9 minutes till the halftime break, at which time you'll hear from Craig Sager back in our Atlanta studio. All the other NBA news of the day. Paxson on the baseline, checked by Williams. 7 on the shot clock. Paxson stolen away by Thomas. Foul Paxson, but in so doing he saved the basket. Second on Paxson. Vinnie Johnson checks in. Isaiah Thomas gets a rest. 33-30, 8:42 left till halftime. Sam Vincent returns to the Chicago lineup. Paxson goes up.
Well, the Bulls have been able to get Michael Jordan a nice long breather, which means he's going to be very effective later on in the game. But part of good offense is knowing where your shot is. And we'll find out whether these Pistons out on the floor have any idea where their offensive game is going to be. Foul against Vincent.
Third on Sam Vincent. He just checked back into the game. Picked up his third foul in about 20 seconds, and now Jordan will come in. And Vincent will go out. Chuck Daly with play instructions as Detroit inbounds the ball. Vinnie Johnson comes in and drills one, which is not good news for Chicago.
Well, one of the things that Sally does very well is pass the basketball. He made a good hard pass inside to Johnson for a good try.
It's a one-point Chicago game. There goes Mr. Jordan, but he missed. Good outlet by Sally. Vinnie for Rodman. Yes, sir. Boy, he can run. He can really run. Jordan at the other end. Draws some attention. Hodges for three, and he got it. Chicago by 2 as Craig Hodges does his thing. He'll be in that long-distance shootout down in Houston a couple of Saturdays from now.
Well, they're all breathing a sigh of relief about that All-Star game because the defending champ will be on the sideline. Blocked by Corzine.
Jordan, foul, and there.
It doesn't make any difference what kind of foul it is. If Lambeer is involved, it's going to draw all kinds of boos. Now, you'll see right here, this is the bad position for a big, slow guy to be in. He is really trying to get in the passing lane, comes across and gets a piece of Jordan.
That was not flagrant or anything like that, but the crowd is ready to...
Well, you know, he's coming off of another one-game suspension. Probably makes more charitable contributions to the NBA's general fund than any other player in the league. He and Brad Daugherty got into a little scuffle. They were both suspended for one game without pay.
He's even taken the heat off Mahorn. Nobody boos him anymore.
Well, Mahorn's kind of helped out because he's got the bad back again and he's not playing.
37-34 for Lambeer from Williams. He got the layup. It's a one-point game. Chicago has the lead. Hodges partially blocked by Williams. Kidd has come in and played all right. Vinnie Johnson up the floor. Less than 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from Chicago. Hodges deflected that out of bounds. Timeout is going to be called here by Chicago. It comes with 6:45 remaining in the first half, and with the score, Chicago 37, Detroit 36.
Well, if Mike Ditka is watching, he certainly will like the way the Chicago Bulls' attitude is about trying to screen the man off. Now, Michael Williams is a rookie. John Paxson out of bounds, and they're still trying to screen him, and they finally shake him, and he gets the ball, but nothing good comes of it for the Chicago Bulls. But that's the kind of defensive effort they are making to put forth and just trying to stay with their man.
Vinnie Johnson comes away with that deflection, but it's no good. Horace Grant the rebound. Michael Jordan to the front court. He is tripped by Rodman.
Well, you got two things. You got the franchise in Chicago's Michael Jordan, and you know anytime he goes down, the crowd is going to be concerned. You've also got a team with the reputation of playing very physical and being the bad boys in the NBA. You see the knees collide right there.
The foul on Rodman, his first. 6:35 left till halftime. Grant alone at the foul line.
Grant has had a huge start. Got about 10 rebounds and 12 points to go along with him. Good, smart play that time. Gets an easy opportunity from the free throw line.
39-36 with 6:15 remaining in the first half. Lane Beer. 39-38. Scottie Pippen goes to the hole again. Tried to slam it, had it blocked. Foul call.
The foul on John Sally.
That's 3 on Sally.
Will give us a clear example of the difference in defensive philosophies tonight. The Bulls have not allowed that kind of a penetration off a screen. They force it to go the other way. John Sally picks up the foul as Scottie Pippen got right at the basket. Chicago is doubling right at the point of attack and trying to force the dribbler to pick up the ball and do something else with it. The Detroit Pistons are trying to chase, and that's what got them in trouble.
You saw Mahorn take the place of John Sally. Lane Beer rebounds the missed free throw. A Detroit basket would tie the game with 5:45 left in the first half. But what a success story this franchise is. Steve, I know you can remember when 2,000 people was a big crowd here. Lane Beer missed the open jump. Hodges lost it out of bounds.
Well, it also tells you about the remarkable talents of Michael Jordan,
Absolutely.
but they've done a great job of finding people to play with him that are very compatible. So Grant and Pippen are quick and very athletic like he. The pace of their game has gotten much faster. Defensively, they're a much better basketball team.
Thomas. Pippen the rebound. Coming up at halftime, the Prudential Halftime Report. Craig Sager in our Atlanta studios with the NBA beat, scores and highlights from around the league, and a special feature on former Pistons star Dave Bing, who's now done very well in private enterprise.
Well, Isaiah Thomas, who was so hot earlier, since he's come back in, has not been able to strike a match. We look at a brand new Air Jordans that have stepped on the line, and Jordan said, well, it's a good call, but
sort of embarrassing when you're there all by yourself.
Well, the ball comes along, and his momentum takes him right to the edge of the line.
One step over the line. Vinnie Johnson with the inbounds pass. 4:55 left in the first half. Dantley goes to the hole, shoots the layup.
Yeah, excellent ball movement that time by the Pistons to get Dantley that easy try to tie the ball game up.
We are knotted at 40 with 4:40 left till halftime. Everybody's standing around now. Good block, Mahorn. Lane Beer passed up the jumper. Deflected away by Pippen. He'll shoot a layup.
You know, if you're watching the ball game, you get the sense that the Bulls are dominating the game, but they're not dominating the score. They only have a 2-point advantage, so the Pistons have been able to stay competitive despite the fact they're having a tough time getting the ball to people where they're most effective. Dantley.
It won't go for him. Rebound, Scottie Pippen again. He's been Johnny on the spot in this second quarter. Cartwright into traffic, and a foul on Lane Beer. You know, the Detroit team in the last 7 meetings with Chicago has held them under 100 points 6 times, and they've held them under 90 4 times. Lane Beer out of the game. James Edwards checks in. Second foul on Lane Beard, who has but 4 points tonight. Grant 12 points, 10 rebounds, as Steve pointed out earlier. Cartwright in the pivot and a whistle.
The idea of getting Cartwright in the middle was to give them some low post presence. He traveled that time, but you can see that when he gets going and is effective, he creates a problem for defenses. They did have to give some attention to him. Turnovers are 8 apiece.
.3:15 left till halftime. Aggressive defense by Chicago. Dantley, no. Rebounds out to Edwards. No. Mahorn had it, lost it. Recovered by Hodges. Jordan. Shoots two. What a try.
James Edwards, his second penalty.
Second foul on Edwards. Timeout Detroit. Jordan will be at the line for two when play resumes. 2:57 till halftime. The Bulls lead the Pistons by 2. Together next Tuesday in Milwaukee, where the Cavaliers will play. That too, an 8:05 game right here on the Superstation.
Couple of all-star selections there, and Mark Price and Terry Cummings. Congratulations to both of them. Jordan has been quiet in this period. He had the 7-point period and was very instrumental in getting Horace Grant involved in the ball game. Really has not had many chances to look in the hoop, but he had a long stretch where he was on the bench. Was down for about 4 minutes.
He makes 1 out of 2, has 8 points in the game, his first point of the quarter, and it's 43-40.
Almost a backcourt violation by the Pistons as the Bulls come out with some real aggressive half-court trap pressure. James Edwards misses.
That ball ricocheted off the shot clock before it was lost out of bounds and will belong again to Detroit. Though Doug Collins isn't so sure. Dennis Rodman about to return to the Detroit mix.
His team did everything right except hang on to the ball. He felt that Pippen was fouled and they should have gotten the call on that. Again, Mahorn will go out of the ball game.
Benny Johnson directs some traffic. Dantley against Pippen. Again, they clear the zone for him to operate. Isaiah hangs in the air, puts it down. It's a 1-point Chicago game as we near the 2-minute mark. 2:10 remaining till halftime. Pippen against Denver. Jordan, good pass to Hodges, the open man. No. Grant. Edwards, the rebound to Benny Johnson. Now Detroit can take the lead. 1:45 till the break.
In these situations, they like to get Dantley a chance to work, but they have forced him to give the ball up. They get the foul against Craig Hodges as Isaiah Thomas shoots the ball over the top. So whenever they've seen an isolation, Chicago has doubled and forced one extra pass.
That was a Barrymore on the part of Isaiah Thomas. He took a horrendous tumble, but didn't appear to get hit that hard, if at all.
Barrymore? So what is that?
Oh, that's before your time. It's an acting job. Thomas makes the first free throw. Just come up with the $4 and then I'll talk to you. We're tied at 43.
Well, we want to congratulate the senior, Kerry, for being inducted to the Hall of Fame, and someday we hope we'll find you in there, and you're not getting the $4 when you get there.
With interest, that'll be a tidy sum. Jordan against about 3 guys. Dantley the rebound. Pistons by 1 and with the ball. Dantley maintains the dribble against Pippen.
Right here again, see, they force him to give it up. Now they'll come back. Let's see how quickly Dantley gets inside.
He got just what he wanted out of that. That's what he likes to do. He didn't want to get hit across the face, but
penalty.
Pippen picks up his third foul, and Dantley shoots 2 if he's all right. He's taking a little time getting together.
Dantley will shoot 2.
Now see the hard pressure, but Dantley has enough presence to recognize what is happening. And watch, here comes Jordan, and as soon as they throw it, they'll give it back to him this time. Now a quick pass, and they'll beat the pressure, and Dantley goes right to the basket, picks up the foul.
And he'll shoot 2.
But the idea of pressure defense is to force the offense to take more time to get into what they want to do. When you're playing beat the clock, you look up and you suddenly find that you're around the 10-second area. You're going to get a shot usually that comes from the perimeter, and it may not be the one that you're looking for.
Dantley now with 8 points. And a 3-point Detroit lead. We're in the final minute, as you see, of the first half. Jordan will shoot 2.
Alan Benning Johnson, his first penalty. Michael Jordan shoots 2.
You see the jostling inside, and that frees up Michael Jordan, who makes a great adjustment in midair just to catch and try to tip that ball in. Picks up the personal against Benny Johnson.
Jordan makes the first. Well, in other news around the league that I guess Craig will talk about at halftime, Derek Smith suspended 6 days, a run-in with Jerry Reynolds. Looks like Kevin Willis out for the remainder of the year for Atlanta. That broken foot has not come along as well as they thought it would. 46-45.
Isaiah Thomas starts calling trap as soon as he enters the ball, and then he changes his mind as they come back to the man-to-man Brad Sellers against Dantley.
And again, you see everybody on the other side of the floor to let Dantley work. Benny
Johnson.
It's a 3-point game again with 32 seconds left in the half. 20-second timeout is called by Chicago. 28 seconds left in the half, 19 on the shot clock.
You said it's a 3-point game. Who's ahead? I mean, we have had the feeling over here that Chicago is ahead, but they're not ahead anymore. What happened?
Well, that's sort of what Detroit perhaps has done. They've become one of those teams where you keep pounding at them, and like the Celtics have been for so many years, and the Lakers. You play your heart on, you really think you're doing good. You're playing as good as you can play, and you look up at the scoreboard and you're up by 1 or down by 2, and you say, uh-oh.
John Paxson checks in for Chicago.
And Detroit is getting toward that level. By the way, this program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures or the descriptions or the accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is absolutely and positively prohibited.
19 on the shot clock, 28 on the game clock.
And they get it in. That's phase 1. Radman plays Jordan.
Now, in these situations, you want to force Michael Jordan to give the ball up, and preferably to someone on the perimeter. Here's Hodges.
And he buried it. His second three-pointer. We're tied at 48. Thomas beats the buzzer. No good, and the half is over. And at halftime, we're right where we were when we started, all tied up. We got a good one going. The Bulls and the Pistons tied at 48. Stay tuned for Craig Sager, then we'll be back.
Welcome back to the world headquarters of Turner Broadcasting. The Philadelphia 76ers have won 3 straight games, but for tonight's game in Cleveland, they have lost Charles Barkley. He is out with a sprained ankle, and Maurice Cheeks with a bruised shoulder. Cleveland, no place to go, short-handed. Brad Daugherty named the All-Star team today for the 2nd year in a row. 18 points in the first half. Teammate Ron Harper had 14 by intermission. The Cavs outscored Philadelphia during one stretch 17-2. Without Charles Barkley underneath, even Mark Price is a big rebounder. Gets the shot right here, and Cleveland leads Philadelphia going into the 4th quarter, 88-77. Indiana has won only once on the road all year, but boy, they came out great tonight. Chuck Person scored the first 10 points of the game for the Pacers, and Indiana led the entire first quarter. Knicks finally took the lead in the 2nd quarter. Nice bounce pass to Johnny Newman, and New York on top now in the 3rd, 78-73. Boston leads Washington 75-70. That also is in the third quarter. Utah, tied for first in the Midwest Division with Houston, is leading on the road 28-20. The Lakers are in Houston, where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the latest victim of Morgana, the kissing bandit. Maybe we'll see that a little bit later. Denver is on the road in San Antonio, where they lead by 5. And Milwaukee scored the first 15 points of the game. Sacramento buried itself in a hole. Now they're down by 7. New Jersey at Seattle later tonight. The NBA Player of the Week in a costly fight for Bill Laimbeer and Brad Daugherty when the Prudential Halftime Report continues. A year ago, the Phoenix Suns won 28 games all season. We're not even at the halfway mark this year, and they've already won 26. The biggest reason for the Suns' rise, number 24, Tom Chambers, who highlights tonight's NBA Beat.
The former Seattle All-Star has been consistent all season, ranking among the NBA's top 10 scorers. But last week, Chambers was at his best, averaging over 33 points with 7 rebounds and 5 assists per game. Just 2.5 games beyond the first-place Lakers, Chambers has been honored with Player of the Week honors. This fortune continues for the Los Angeles Clippers. Reserve guard Grant Gondrzak has been admitted to the NBA's substance abuse program in Van Nuys, California. In the final week of the 1987 season, Gondrzak was one of 5 players indicted in Phoenix on cocaine charges. The charges were eventually dismissed. The NBA has fined Cleveland's Brad Daugherty and Detroit's Bill Laimbeer $5,000 each for exchanging blows last Friday night. In addition, both were suspended without pay for last Sunday's games, suspensions that cost Daugherty $10,900 and Laimbeer $7,300. In addition to the money, the suspension also cost Laimbeer his Ironman streak. He had played in 685 consecutive regular season games.
The all-time Ironman Randy Smith, who played in 906 consecutive regular season games. Been around for 30 years. Obviously, a credit to the Detroit Pistons when he was with the team, and a credit to the community now, Dave Bing. And gentlemen, you got a good game going, score just like we started. It's tied.
Okay, Craig, thank you very much. You're right, 48-48 is the score. You know, an interesting thing about that Dave Bing piece, in those days, guys had to work in the offseason, and it's really not that way anymore. And I guess in a way, maybe some of these fellas that are making the big money now for 3 or 4 years are doing themselves a disservice because the gravy train is going to end sometime. Dave Bing knew he had to be prepared for the future, and thus is.
Well, there are still great lessons to be learned from that. Even if you're on the gravy train, you can't forget where you came from because there's no telling when you'll have to go back. And I really admire Dave Bing and all of the things he's done for Detroit, and wish him the best of luck.
He doesn't. He's made his own luck. He's doing just fine. We got a good ball game going here.
Well, we do. You know, as I said before, the Chicago Bulls did a great job of dominating the first period of play. Gave the impression that they had control of the ball game, and somewhere in the second period, it got away from them. And it was the Detroit Pistons that came back to get on top. They won the period. They tied the ball game up. And I'm sure that both coaches just said, fellas, we got them going right the way we want. Let's continue it. If you're a Chicago Bull, you have to recognize the great start that they got. And if Chuck Daly's going to say they've got to have greater pressure on the ball and make their shots come much more from the perimeter. And I think for Detroit, they've got to find easier ways to score. And Dantley's got to be one of the people involved. We take a look back at some of the activity from that first half of play, and you'll see how easy it was for Chicago to get those early opportunities. No pressure on the ball. Michael Jordan finds Horace Grant, who had a tremendous first half of play, and he jams it home with 2 hands over the top. We talked about the defensive awareness and aggressiveness of the Chicago Bulls. Again, at the point of attack, whenever Adrian Dantley has had the basketball, the decision has been to double team, to keep him out of the middle as much as they can, force the extra pass, and make it very difficult for the Detroit Pistons to score inside. And the same thing would be true of Michael Jordan. make him give the basketball up. This time they give it up to the three-point specialist, Craig Hodges. Hodges has struck twice from the outside, both of them three-pointers. He has 6 in the ball game.
So we get ready for the third quarter to get underway. Michael Jordan with 6 assists in the game to this point. And a look at the statistics. Steve, that's your department. I don't want to jump in there and louse it up.
Well, you jumped in on my player of the game. You could come in and help out on this. It's an even ball game, and the stats reflect that. The teams were shooting better than 50% at the end of one. They're both shooting right around 45 at the end of two. Chicago with the basketball, and Skip, it's time to go back to work.
And a very low-scoring second quarter. Cartwright touched it last. Detroit will get the ball. It was deflected into his hands, and he couldn't control it. Really not his fault. Isaiah Thomas up the floor as you look at the first half scoring leaders. Then he thought about it and surprisingly didn't do it. Sally faces the hoop against Cartwright.
Well, with no inside player and the league making Dantley give the ball up a lot as they come out with that hard defense, and Vincent scores. The backcourt has had to score more points, and Isaiah Thomas and Vinnie Johnson, with Dumars down, have carried the scoring load.
50-48 Chicago after the Sally turnover and a whistle. Pippen picks up his 4th foul, and that's harmful to Doug Collins and company. Brad Sellers checks into the game. Doug Collins really upset on that.
Well, you know what? You know why he's upset, and you know what that's going to get. That's going to get a quick technical. It's either on Collins or Pippen. Pippen walked by on the way. May have had something to say. But Collins was saying, you went for that old pro trick. Dantley hooked his arm and acted like he was being held.
I think the technical was on Pippen.
But see, that's why Dantley's been around as long as he has. He's learned all of those little things that help you stay in the league and take advantage of young, quick players like Scottie Pippen. Probably said, you know, Scottie, I'm going to get you out of the game. I don't have to worry about you breathing all over me.
So now Detroit can take the lead. They trail by 1. Sellers ties up Dantley, takes the ball away. There goes Michael. He fumbled it on the way up. Lambeer blocked it. Vinnie Johnson out of the pack. It's 4-on-2. They overpass it. Horace Grant with it. Vincent for Cartwright. Cartwright, the open jumper. He missed it. Brad Sellers knocked away. Lambeer has it, but a foul. It can't possibly be me, says Bill.
Well, we've had great weather here today. I don't know when the last time we were here in January and it was 60-plus degrees, and I think it's gone to the fans' head. They're all a little crazy. They're all over the officials here for several calls that weren't made. Lambeer can't believe that call went against him. Sellers, who's not been much of a factor this season for the Bulls, on the line.
51-49 is our score. Chicago now 9 of 12 from the line. Detroit is 10 of 11. Isaiah Thomas up the floor. 51-49 Chicago. 10:20 left third quarter. Lambeer can't buy it. Rebound Horace Grant. Here comes Michael Jordan. Vincent all alone. 53-49. Chuck Daly with play instructions on the Detroit bench. Isaiah. Michael Jordan the rebound. Rodman's on the deck. Cartwright misses. Rebound Dantley.
Well, this third period is starting a lot like the first, in which Chicago dominated and Detroit was playing exclusively a perimeter game, but Chicago's also shot the ball from the outside. 3-point contest, 4-point contest.
Rodman, good look to Lambeer. He shoots the layup. Bulls 53, Pistons 51. 9:10 left, third quarter. Foul, Lambeer, banging Cartwright. His fourth. Well, they gambled with him, and the gamble didn't pay off.
Well, it's not entirely all Bill Lambier's fault. The crowd delights in seeing him go out of the ball game. When you allow this much freedom to roam, and then the passer has that much time to find you, you're going to create problems for the defender. Jordan, over the top, he misses.
And again, as is often the case, he struggled offensively against Detroit, at least to this stage of the game. Rodman missed the jumper. Edwards follows it up.
That's one of those rare jump shots for Rodman. James Edwards has got 6 tonight.
And we are tied at 53 with 8:40 left in the third. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from a sold-out Chicago stadium. Cartwright against the double team. Vincent up top. It rimmed, it won't go. Rebound out of bounds. Detroit gets it. Isaiah Thomas in control. We're tied at 53. Pick and roll, but Jordan with that anticipation is there to save the day for the Bulls. He does so many things besides score. No foul there. He got away with one there. That's about 3 times Rodman has been knocked sprawling to the floor, trying to draw a charge. Technical foul against Chuck Daly. Well, Joey Crawford has been an equal opportunity referee. He's called one at each end.
Daly, unruffled, now has a few comments on the way back to the bench. Jordan has had a tough time tonight from the free throw line. Can't cash that one. You know, if you're involved in a game and Crawford is working, you're not going to be allowed to say a lot. And whatever you say, you better say it very quietly.
It was predicated on the apparent charge by Jordan where there was no call. Vinnie Johnson to the hole, drops it off nicely to Dantley. He threw the foul, shoots 2. Rodman got hit in the face by somebody. Horace Grant picks up his second foul. I wonder how many ejections and technicals Joe Crawford, his brother Jerry, the National League umpire, and their dad Shags, the former National League umpire, have put together in their respective careers. Must be a staggering amount. Dantley shoots 2.
You like to be the fly on the wall when they all get together, huh?
Oh, you should have seen what I did to him.
Dantley gets the first one, but Chicago made the extra pass. As we take a look at Joey, who's been working real hard. He's sweating real heavily over there.
Dantley is 7 of 7 at the line. Detroit is 12 of 13. The game is tied at 55 with 7:22 left in the third quarter. Cartwright, beautifully done by Sellers.
They made a nice pass inside, but we go back down to the other end. What Chicago made them do was make that extra pass, and they got the ball to Dantley, who wisely made a good decision. They leave him outside this time against Sellers.
Oh, what a shot and a foul.
Foul, Brad Sellers, his first.
Sellers is called for the foul.
1 shot.
And the officials must be doing a good job because they're not pleasing anybody on either team, and that normally means they're doing all right.
Well, they're consistent at both ends. I think whenever you see officials work, what you'd like to see is the same type of call at both ends of the floor, and we've seen much of that. Both teams have been allowed to play. Rodman goes to the bench to get some attention. It looks like he may have been cut, but Dantley with a real tough shot on the baseline, a hook, one that you rarely see from him. But he invents a lot of ways to score. He gets a three-point play.
Mike Abdenor goes to work on Rodman over there. He's the Detroit trainer, and he's a good one. 58-57 Pistons, and yet another whistle and another foul. This one will be on James Edwards. That's 3 on Edwards, and the fouls are being racked up at a dizzying pace here. Timeout called. 6:55 left in the third, and the Pistons lead by 1. Well, Saturday, February 11th, All-Star Saturday. You see Michael Jordan in action again against his friend and adversary, Dominique Wilkins of the Hawks, among others. A lot of people thought Michael, good as he is, got a little hometown cooking last year in the slam dunk contest in Chicago. Well, Schick Legends Classic, the American Airlines Sheridan Long Distance Shootout, Gatorade Slam Dunk Championship, all starts at 2 o'clock Eastern on the 11th.
You know, Clyde Drexler said there's a new sheriff in town. The slam dunk contest is going to be held in Houston. That's his hometown as the Bulls come back to Cartwright.
Nobody's figured out how you score that yet. It's very subjective. Isaiah Thomas up the floor with 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter. So here the next foul is on here. They could call one on Brad Sellers right now if they wanted to. Dantley misses the set. Vincent heads the other way. .6:10 left in the third. Vincent all by himself. Yes, sir.
You notice the difference in defensive philosophy. They allow the Chicago Bulls to move the ball freely on the outside, inviting the outside opportunity. They want to sag inside, make the ball come from over the top. They double team almost everything. Jordan knocks that one away.
Boy, he does so many things. Michael up the wing. Sellers joins the party now. Good pass. Grant again. Grant will have to gas up Michael's car after this performance. Michael's given him about 10 points on perfect passes.
This is Edwards' spot. Can't get it to go down. They're going to get a little push inside. Adrian Dantley.
Loose ball foul on Adrian Dantley. His first team.
That's his first, 4th team foul. So Chicago gets it on the side with 5:19 left in the third quarter.
You watch Jordan, sweet no-look pass, and there's Horace Grant right at the basket, driving it home.
You know, I said Grant would have to gas his car up. I was going to say buy him a car, but we took a look at it. Michael's wheels, he's the only guy in this game can afford it.
And the gas that goes with those kind of wheels.
How much of one of those things cost? A mere $125 wheel. Isaiah Thomas.
Now you've done all that. You've never told the people what kind of car it was?
I don't know what kind. It's a Ferrari. Vincent. Offensive foul. That's 4 on him. John Paxson will come into the game, and fouls could be a big item in this game. Laimbeer has 4. Vincent now has 4. Pippen has 4. And the fouls keep on coming. Vincent sits down as Paxson checks in. 4:38 left in the third. You see the score.
Dantley right at the basket, but he can't cash. He ran a quick play. Jordan rebound.
A great pass by Thomas, but nothing comes of it. Jordan stops. Paxson's the open man. Nope. Grant tips. No. Edwards the next rebound. Isaiah 3 on 2. Vinny Johnson, again, a perfect pass, but nothing comes out of it. Mahorn sticks it in. Dantley wanted a foul, got nothing. But his teammate got the basket. It's a 1-point game.
Well, Daly's got a nice seat over there. Even if he's complaining with his posture, he seems fairly comfortable over there. But this is a game where both teams have been allowed to attack, and both have been aggressive. Chicago has a 1-point advantage. They steal from Jordan.
Vinny Johnson with the steal. He's got a 2-on-1 to Thomas. He walks. The behind-the-back pass victimized Thomas that time.
Benny was just a hair ahead on that pass, and Isaiah Thomas couldn't catch it without taking that extra step. But you've got to, in this kind of a ball game, you've got to get your easy chances in the basket. The turnovers are even at 12 apiece.
61-60 Chicago. Mahorn the rebound. Grant the rebound. He's having as good a game as I've ever seen him play.
Now we have to find out who's going to score for Chicago in these situations. It's most likely Jordan as Mahorn and Edwards get into it.
Now Cartwright shoves Mahorn. Grant restrains him. Jordan and Mahorn share a smile. Cartwright shoves Mahorn again. Mahorn's had about enough of this.
Mostly talk, though. Mahorn knows that nothing is going to happen, and he's saying all of the things that will continue to fire Cartwright up.
Well, let's see how they sort this out.
You'll see where the action starts. Now, right here, they're battling for position, and he lets him go. Now he'll come back in with the hook. Now there's the shot that Cartwright takes exception to.
Technical foul called on Rick Mahorn.
We think it's a foul on Mahorn and technicals on Mahorn and Cartwright, but we're across the floor, so we can't really be sure. But
we get you a gray shirt. You did a good job of sorting that all out. The thing you have to remember about Rick Mahorn, most of his game, even though there's a lot of physical play involved in it, is predicated on trying to get you upset and get you so involved and worried about him that you don't play your game.
You could see the look on his face when Cartwright shoved him. He was just sort of like, here we go again.
Now you see, this is all after the fact.
That was after about the second or third push between the two men.
Well, now, see, he's got the coach involved. So now Doug Collins will be thinking more about ways to get back at Rick Mahorn.
And that was the first foul on Mahorn because he hadn't played. 63-60 is the score. Edwards against Cartwright. He'll shoot two. You knew that was coming. Two on Cartwright.
The foul on Bill Cartwright. That's his second.
And a timeout is called here with 2:44 left in the third quarter. The Bulls on top of the Pistons. The score is 63-60. We're in the third period, and we'll be back.
Well, we'll let you sit in Rod Thorne's seat, Vice President of Operations for the NBA. He's the guy that has to sort out the fine, and you try to figure out who the perpetrator is in the situation. But again, notice the posture of Rick Mahorn. Come on, man. Now, he'll have one more shot. And you, Coach, don't you even come out here.
Steve Jones at ringside here in Chicago.
But we do have a real tough, aggressive ball game here. Both teams have had chances to build on their lead. They have not been able to pull away. James Edwards gets both of the free throws. We're back to a one-point contest.
And we have 2:40 left in the third. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from Chicago Stadium. Paxson thought about it, didn't do it. Cartwright missed it, fumbled away by Rodman. Paxson had a three-point try. Off to Jordan for three. Rebound Rodman.
Jordan has had a real tough night from the field so far. Has not been able to cash many field goals, but he's been effective in all of the areas of the game. The unfortunate thing for the opposition is, you know, eventually he's going to get hot. Vinnie Johnson against Sellers.
Rodman follows it up. Jordan 3 out of 13 from the field. He often struggles against Detroit, but normally because of Joe Dumars, who's still on the injured list. Cartwright up top against Mahorn.
Sometimes I think he struggles because of the types of shots he takes. He loses control of that one, but Grant gets it back.
Cartwright in and out. Tough break for him. Rebound Rodman. A minute 35 left in the third. Pistons by 1 and with the ball. Craig Hodges about to check into the Chicago lineup. Rodman with a left hand.
He lost control of the ball, had enough the presence to throw his hand forward. The ball goes in.
1:10 left, third quarter. Detroit by 3. Jordan against Vinnie Johnson.
They ask for a clear side. They double and make him go the other way. Vinnie Johnson will pick up the foul.
And Vinnie's saying it's a little tough to play this guy. And he's right.
Michael Jordan shoots 2.
Well, we mentioned before that 6 of the last 7 times these teams have played, Chicago scored less than 100 points. And the way this one looks, they'll both be under 100 after regulation, at least in this game. Well, you never know. Michael makes the first free throw.
Well, who wins when they score under 100 points?
Normally, Detroit.
Well, he is 3 for 14 from the field, gets both of those free throws. Has not had a good night from the line, but we still have the fourth period, and we know he has the ability to erupt for big numbers in a period. So the Pistons are aware of that.
Isaiah Thomas threw it away, or somebody didn't anticipate correctly. Paxson to the front court. 37 seconds. 4-3 in and out. Jordan. Yes. Chicago has taken the lead. 67-66. 18 on the shot clock. You see the time remaining in the quarter. I'll give you the shot clock time as it becomes significant. It is now 10.
Right at the basket, Mahorn, and he can't get it done.
The Bulls can play for one final shot. Jordan. A tip won't go, and a foul with 1 second left. It's on Edwards, his fourth.
Well, they had Jordan with a real tough try. There were all kinds of blue jerseys inside as James Edwards picked up his fourth foul, getting a very active Horace Grant on the line. But our statistician, Big E, had pointed out that Isaiah Thomas only has 1 assist to this point. Well, you can't get an assist when people don't make baskets.
He's made the pass several times.
And we saw a clear example of that. A hard pass right at the basket to Mahorn. He misses. And all of those kinds of attempts, they will get you assists.
1 second left, and the quarter is over. And at the end of 3, Chicago has 69. By 3 after 3, and Steve, now I think would be a good time to take a look at what we always call the Minute Maid orange soft drink statistics after 3 quarters.
Well, they're still indicating a very close and even ball game. The Pistons are shooting the lower percentage. The Bulls have been to the line a couple of more times. More rebounds for Detroit. The turnovers are near even, and we have a 3-point contest, and several times we've had both teams with 3-point advantages. And I think it's a team that's going to be able to determine where they want their offense to be in the final period that's going to win the game. The defenses have been effective. Michael Jordan will get a breather here. He has had an off night against the Detroit Pistons. A lot of his shots have come from the outside. He scored 4 of them right at the end of the period, and he's got a total of 17 on the night.
Adrian Dantley back in the game for Detroit as we go to the final 12. Steve Jones, Skip Carey with you from Chicago.
Now they got a mismatch with Rodman against Hodges. The problem will be how many times Rodman looks at the basket. He's coming off of a great game in which he even made a 3-pointer.
Another thing that might be an item, Steve, a lot of fouls called in this game, and Chicago picks one up in the first 14 seconds of the final quarter. If one team gets in foul trouble early, it could be a big item in the game. 69-66 Chicago. Sally to Mahorn. Nope. Rodman. Yes. 69-68. 30 seconds have passed in the final quarter. At least the final quarter of regulation. Horace Grant. Good move, but he missed the shot. Mahorn the rebound. Now Detroit can reclaim the lead.
Well, we talked about the position of Rodman. He's now playing guard and on the box, and they get a little in and out game, and Isaiah Thomas comes over the outside.
Detroit by 1, 70-69. Scottie Pippen goes to the hole. Got it. Chicago by 1. Mahorn in the front court.
Well, they showed trap and pressure. We'll see how the Pistons respond to it. Ideally, you like to pass that ball inside, break the defense down. Isaiah Thomas.
What a shot. He initiated the contact, made sure he drew the foul, then banked one up off the glass and drilled it. That's 5 on Pippen as well.
Team second.
Well, Pippen, I bet, hasn't played 3 minutes in the second half because of foul trouble.
Isaiah Thomas with a good pump fake gets Pippen off of his feet, and as Isaiah Thomas can only do, he makes some of the toughest shots in the business, gets that one to go in, now has a chance for a three-point play. Michael Jordan re-enters the game. Paxson sits down.
Isaiah now has 19. Greg Hodges up the floor with 10:18 left in regulation. Detroit by 2. And a foul.
Foul on Dennis Rodman, his second.
Only the second on Rodman. Brad Sellers checks in. Scottie Pippen goes out. There's the Wendy's NBA scoreboard. The Knicks have pulled away from Indiana. Washington beating Boston, and Cleveland won handily over Philadelphia. We'll see Philadelphia Friday night at home against the Pistons. Jordan still won't go. That will.
He had a tough shot. He missed it, but he stayed after his own miss and got the rebound, put it back in. But he's matched it at the defensive end against Dennis Rodman, and that's what Chuck Daly wanted.
9:38 left. Thomas again, not this time. Rebound. Here comes Jordan. We're tied at 73. Michael. Horace Grant. Greg Hodges for 3. No. Corsi. Chicago 75, Detroit 73. 9:10 left in regulation.
Now, Dantley is against Michael Jordan. We'll see if they can create some pressure for Jordan. He pokes the ball away and picks up the foul.
The foul on Michael Jordan is
First foul on Jordan. Jordan, despite his shooting problems, 19 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. So a triple-double may loom in his future.
Well, you've got the matchup, and you'll see if Dantley can get the post-up position against him. They double on Dantley.
Lambeer. That's his spot out there. 75 all with 8:45 left. Hodges up the floor. It has been nip and tuck throughout. Foul Rodman.
Foul on Dennis Rodman is
Third on Rodman. Chuck Daly is laughing on the outside, crying on the inside. And the inbounds pass is to Hodges. For 2.
A rare two-point attempt for Hodges.
Isaiah goes to the hole. Offensive foul. Chicago has it back.
Isaiah Thomas is second.
Well, Thomas does a good job of beating his man, but there is the ever-present Michael Jordan to take the charge. So Jordan has been all over the place at both ends of the floor, making big things happen for the Bulls.
Rodman plays him now. Down goes Rodman. Jordan gets a layup. Rodman looks at Ronnie Garrettson and says, "What's going on?" 79-75.
Well, Rodman is trying to tell him, watch the hook on Jordan. Dantley again trying to go to the box against Jordan.
Allen Michael Jordan is second.
Now watch Jordan as he comes back, and it's real hard to continue to move your feet. He gets just enough of an advantage against Rodman, who tries to draw the foul and doesn't. Jordan and Dantley on the box again.
Jordan reaches in again, foul again.
Michael Jordan is third. Penalty.
Now, we talk about how difficult it is for people to guard Jordan. Now, watch how difficult it is for a smaller man to keep Dantley out of the position that he wants. He does a good job of keeping his body between Jordan and the basketball, and that gets him at the line. And they had a penalty situation against the Bulls with 7:35. Boy, are you on it today.
Well, we'll
You
see.
predicted this would happen.
We'll see if it makes any difference. It won't if they shoot free throws like that.
Dantley's having a good night from the free throw line, but misses the first. As you take a look at how critical Dantley's free throw efforts are to the success of the Pistons.
79-76. They are 18 out of 20 from the foul line are the Pistons. Chicago 15 out of 19. 7:25 left in regulation. Jordan. Again, Rodman tries to draw a charge. The shot is missed. He's 6 out of 19 from the field.
Well,
now Sellers plays.
They're not going to waste. They're not going to waste Jordan trying to fight that battle with Dantley. Sellers picks up the personal foul. Now, the way that the Bulls can help themselves is to try to put some real aggressive pressure on the passer and not allow this pass to be made. Now, you'll see the push by Sellers right there. Now you know why Dantley's got a bad back.
Yeah, you know, they say he's a little guy, and he is short in stature, but Adrian Dantley's one of the strongest players in this league.
Well, he's got great balance and a good center of gravity, and that allows him to hold his position. And what you've got to try to do is get around in front. He does a good job of staying between you and the ball.
He makes the first free throw. He makes the second free throw. 79-78 Chicago. The Pistons have but 2 team fouls. 7 minutes left. Jordan against Rodman. Corzine a pick. Jordan dishes it off. Brad Sellers, no, and a foul on Dantley. A timeout will be called here by Chicago. Timeout on the floor. 6:50 left in regulation. We might be here a little longer than that, the way this one is going. Bulls lead by 1. They'll shoot 2.
See rebounds per minute, and Dennis Rodman is amongst the league leaders in that category. But when we change to total rebounds per game, Olajuwon continues to lead, but because he doesn't play as much, Dennis Rodman is missing, as the Honda leaders are the guys that grind the meat inside today.
And we're in accord about the Honda leaders as Brad Sellers goes to the line to shoot 2.
2 more weeks off, and there's no telling what you'll come up with.
That's what scares me. Sellers makes the first. It's 80-78.
Now with 6:50 to go in a very physical and aggressive ball game, and both teams want it very badly, the thing that you can't do is get involved with the officiating. You've got to be the aggressor at the offensive end and defensive end as much as you can, and let the terms of the game be dictated by your play. Bill Laimbeer.
He's hit a couple of those line drive jump shots of his here in the fourth quarter.
Big shots, too.
He now has 10 points. It's 81-80 Chicago, and they have the ball. 6:25 left in regulation. Jordan against Rodman. Grant the pick. Jordan, no. Rodman the rebound. Isaiah has it.
Jordan knocked it away.
There goes Mr. Dantley again. 6 on the shot clock. Isaiah for 3. Nope. Jordan the rebound from Rodman. There he is in the open floor. He finds Hodges for 2. No. John Sally is checked back in time to grab that rebound. 5:45 left. Again, the Pistons with a chance to take the lead.
Notice that the double team against Stanley has now been taken off. Sally knocked that one away.
But into the hands of Jordan. Hodges checked by Isaiah. Isaiah to the deck. He comes away with it. He may have been on the line. Chicago gets it.
Well, Isaiah Thomas alertly recognized that Hodges had given up his dribble. Trying to get around, Hodges held him. Hey, watch. Now Hodges puts the ball down. I got to get to this ball. He goes on the floor. Now he's trying to call a timeout, but rolls out of bounds.
Security grabbing objects thrown on the floor.
Sellers inbounds. Jordan to the hole, hangs in the air. Boy, he just can't get that jump shot going tonight. Isaiah. Foul. Hodges 1-1. Isaiah Thomas prior to the shot. 5:08 left. 3 team fouls against Detroit, and again penalty time for the Pistons as the foul is on Chicago.
Well, Hodges was in a retreating posture and really never could get a chance to get himself set. Isaiah recognized that and was just trying to get to the free throw line through the personal foul.
We're tied. Detroit by 1. As the Bulls cross the line, we'll have 5 minutes left in regulation. Cartwright and Laimbeer bang at one another in the pivot. What else is new?
Shot clock's at 5.
Cartwright knows it. Good block by Laimbeer. So now the Pistons have a 1-point lead on the ball with 4:40.
Now with the defenses being set as hard as they are, you've got to try to move the ball, move your people a little bit quicker, try to get into your offense. Isaiah Thomas springs very quickly on the drive, draws the foul.
Yet another time to the line for the Pistons. Here comes Scottie Pippen. Doug Collins figures he can wait no longer. Pippen checks in with 5 fouls. Jordan picked up his 4th, 3 of them, I think, in this quarter.
Well, you see how it's gone down for Chicago and come up for the Detroit Pistons, but if you looked at the defensive intensity that Chicago has had through 3 quarters, they were almost always doubling at the point of attack. Here in the 4th period of play, as Isaiah misses the first free throw, they are not doing that. So Isaiah Thomas has been able to get some penetration the last couple of times, get to the free throw line. They've also created some problems through Adrian Dantley.
Thomas can give his team a 2-point lead,
which by tonight's standards has not been much.
There haven't been any big leads in this game. 83-81, 4:30 left. A timeout is called by Chicago. 4:25 left. They'll have the ball when play resumes, down by 2, and we'll be back. Spectra system, the only camera that makes time stand still.
If you follow the eyes of Michael Jordan, you will miss the picture-perfect play as he makes a sweet pass inside to Horace Grant for a two-hand stop.
4:25 left.
Well, it happens to the best, and Michael Jordan definitely is struggling, but he still has to be the guy that they put the ball in his hands and make the defense respect. Shooting 30% tonight on 7 of 23. Scottie Pippen with the basketball.
Dantley makes him pull up way outside. They go to Jordan, who hits the deck. Hodges for three. He got it. And just like that, Chicago reclaims the lead. 4 minutes left in regulation.
I've always felt in big games, and this seems to be a big game for both teams, you've got to be a little bit more aggressive and reckless in your approach to the game. Detroit gets conservative in that possession. They end up turning the ball over, and Chicago has a chance to build on their one-point advantage.
Scottie Pippen across the line. Doug Collins with play instruction. Cartwright against Lambeer. He got it. 86-83 Chicago. Timeout, Detroit. A crowd of more than 18,000 on its feet. Chicago has built a 3-point lead. 3:24 left. We'll be back. Well, my friend Steve Jones, I think you do a heck of a job, and you've come by your talent very honestly. For those of you who don't know, Steve's mom, Geneva, a big television star on a show in Portland called AM Northwest. That's where you get all your lines. Let's check Mama out if we can for just a moment.
We talk beans, and we have some wonderful recipes, and we hope to share some good ones with you. We chose for today one that you do from scratch. And it was interesting to me to note that going through recipes, we found that lima beans and pinto beans run neck and neck.
That's Geneva Jones, Steve's mom. Back live, Isaiah Thomas. Tell you what, next time I'm in Portland, guess who's coming to dinner? It's gonna be me.
That's known as home cooking.
86-85 Chicago. 3:05 left. Adrian Dantley almost had a steal. Good effort. Knocked it away from Pippen and out of bounds.
You know, in the words of the famous James Cagney, you dirty rat.
Don't blame me. I'm just a small cog in this machine. 5 on the shot clock. Jordan. The magic still isn't there. Lambeer the rebound. Now Detroit.
And you look at Jordan's night, other than shooting the ball, he's had a tremendous effort. 21 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Isaiah Thomas at the basket and the foul.
And 2 shots.
The foul on Michael Jordan with his 5th.
That's 5 on Jordan.
Isaiah Thomas shoots 2.
And remember, he started the period with 0.
He's got them all in this period?
That's right. He got 3 of them trying to deal with that bull Dantley, and that created some problems for him. You see Pippen and Jordan, 2 slashing type of players that are really critical for Chicago. At the top, Lambeer and Edwards, both turnaround jump shooters, not quite the same problem. Isaiah Thomas squeezes that one in.
Washington beat Boston tonight.
You know, we forget, because this is Jordan's town, that this is Isaiah Thomas's hometown. He's had a pretty good game tonight as well. He's got 12 in the period.
Detroit by 1. .226 left in the game.
Right here, Jordan has a chance to go up for a shot and turns it down.
4-2, Scottie Pippen. Pippen now with 11 points. His team leads by 1. We're headed towards some finish in Chicago. Rodman, the turnaround.
Big hoop there. Last guy you'd think they'd go to would be Rodman.
If he learns to do that consistently, he is going to be some player in this league. Thomas steal. In the open floor. He's got it.
Isaiah Thomas.
91-88 Detroit with a minute 43. Pippen to the front court, and a timeout is called by Chicago. A minute 40 left. The Pistons have built a three-point lead. I'm not going to try to coach this. You're the analyst, but it's a little early to deliberately force a three-point shot. But with Hodges, if they get him open, they may just say, go for it.
Well, they set that kind of play up. You know, Hodges almost lives out on the three-point perimeter, so you know you're going to be able to find him. What they'd like to do in this situation is get the ball in the hands of Michael Jordan, try to get a quick two with some sort of penetration, draw the defense, make someone else get an easy try, as we saw Pippen get one. They could also have a chance to go with Cartwright in the middle, who scored easily on his last possession in the offensive end. But more than anything, the Chicago Bulls do not want to become conservative. They got to continue to attack at the offensive end. The penalty situation is not a factor for the Pistons as yet, so the Pistons, if they get themselves in a situation they could foul to stop any attempt.
Meanwhile, just a moment ago, you saw Dennis Rodman do something he's had trouble doing in the past, and that's post up and turn around and shoot the turnaround jumper right in your face as he does here.
Well, you know, if you're an offensive player, you love to have a guy like Rodman on your team because that means he's not going to shoot the ball very many times. But he did score in college, and he scored some big numbers, so you know he has the ability to put it in the basket. They surprised Chicago with him at the box, and he delivered.
1:40 left. Pistons on top by 3. We're going to a big party on Friday night down in Houston for the All-Star game. And you'll see it right here on TBS, and then we'll have the three-point and the slam dunk and the Legends Classic for you on Saturday. And then a recap of the whole shooting match on Saturday night. That's not this Saturday, it's a week hence. The 10th, Friday the 10th and Saturday the 11th.
Now they've gotten very conservative as the defense is stiffened a little bit. They're not sure what to do. Pippen with the ball against Lane Beer.
Shoots on the way down, but got it back. Hodges for 2. He got it. It's a 2-point basket. It's a 1-point game. A minute 20 left. You see the time remaining, 10 on the shot clock.
They tried to find Danley inside, and now they're down to 5 on the shot clock, and Rodman.
He darn near made it. That's not the shot they wanted. Scottie Pippen up the floor against Dantley. It'll be on Rodman. Fourth team foul. Chicago gets it on the side. Not this time, but from now on, it's the bonus, and Detroit wants a timeout. It comes with 49 seconds left. Detroit 91. The Bulls 90. Detroit. It's anybody's game. We'll be back.
In a close ball game, players have a tendency to become very conservative. They want to make sure that they get a good opportunity, but sometimes that means you give the ball to someone who really is not the offensive player that you want, and that's what happened with Dennis Rodman trying to beat the clock, had to put up a tough try, and that turned into a chance for Michael Jordan to tie or put the Chicago Bulls ahead by 1.
49 seconds left. Chicago will inbound the ball on the side of the floor. Pippen will trigger it in. From now on, everybody shoots the bonus. Hodges.
Good defense by Isaiah Thomas, but you know they're looking for this guy, Jordan. charge.
He finally got one. Rodman did, along with the Lambier. And Jordan has fouled out of the game. 6th foul on Jordan. Detroit calls a timeout. Well, you got to give Rodman credit for perseverance. He's been trying to do that since this game began, and he finally got the call. Lambier gave him some help as well. So Detroit has the lead and the ball with 38 seconds left.
Well, it's the first time that Michael Jordan has fouled out this season, but Rodman is a very good defender, and he kept his feet moving, and then, if you want to throw in a little Barrymore, he got a little nudge and went to the floor and got the call, and you see his reaction. Craig Sager's in the studio. Craig, what's on your mind?
Michael Jordan.
Boy, it's been a tough year for Kareem all around, hasn't it?
Well, he got all around. That's Jordan out of the ball game, a triple-double on an off night, and that tells you about the talent of Michael Jordan. I thought that the Bulls would have been in the penalty earlier on that last time, and they weren't. And the Pistons have possession of the basketball, and what's critical for them at this point is the inbound pass. They need to get the ball in play. You know they're going to try to use as much of the 24-second shot clock as they can. Vinnie Johnson in the game.
And they get it to Isaiah in a hurry. I'll tell you another thing about Jordan. He knew he committed the offensive foul. He could have worked the crowd. He got up and walked off like a man.
Again, they're looking inside to Dantley as Isaiah Thomas works against Hodges. They get the foul against Sellers.
And Dantley will go to the line for 2 more and give Detroit some credit. They might miss the free throws, but they got just what they wanted. Adrian Dantley at the foul line for 2 with 22 seconds left. If he makes these, then you could begin thinking about Mr. Hodges or someone from three-point country.
Well, at 22 seconds left in the ball game, Dantley has been a force in this game from the free throw line. 17 points, and 11 of them have come from the line
in 12 attempts. Uh-oh. That breathes life into Chicago. Now they don't need a three-point basket. Vinnie Johnson back in the game for Detroit.
Well, what they need is one free throw to go in to make it a 2-point ball game. You see all of the reactions of the parties involved.
He got that one. It's a 2-point game. Here come the Bulls with a chance to tie. 20-second timeout called by Chicago. Of course, the difference now, this is very simplistic, but all they have to worry about now is shooting a layup or a little jump shot to send the game into overtime. If they get a 3-point opportunity, maybe they'll take it. But if that second free throw had gone, it would have changed the complexion considerably.
The Pistons are going to try to force a shot to come over the top and then rebound the basketball and hold it.
Pippen deflected away, but he got it back. Foul is going to be called against Detroit. What a break for Chicago. The foul is on Lambier, his 5th. It comes with 16 seconds left. Pippen came within an eyelash and not getting the ball in desperation. He made a terrible inbounds pass, but got it back. And he now can tie the game. If he makes them both.
Of course, these are the situations as you grow up that you dream about. As we take a look at the replay.
Pippen to tie the game.
And Jordan's reaction, but you dream about these situations. Let's see if he gets part of his dream to come true.
He does. Timeout, Detroit. And now Detroit will run it down, or will try to about 3 or 4 seconds. And as Steve pointed out at the Chicago end, Detroit will do the same thing. They want to get the shot up in time so that if they miss, they have a chance to follow it. But you don't want to shoot it early enough so that Chicago has a chance to rebound and get to the other end and win the game should you miss. And this is when the coaches in this league really earn their earn their living. A real nail biter here in Chicago. Those young ladies are cleverly named the Lava Bulls. Okay, Craig. Thank you very much. 16 seconds remaining. I'll tell you what, Scottie Pippen made the 2 free throws. That's to his credit, but he's really lucky that he was in that spot.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and he got it good fortuitous bounce, took it to the hole, and drew the foul. The crowd here has really come alive, and again, the inbound pass is critical. As we saw for Chicago, it will be the same thing for the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons have the position of holding for the final shot of the game and either winning the game or going into overtime, and that will be the philosophy of Chuck Daly right now. Get the ball in and make Chicago make a mistake. Don't give them a chance to win the ball game at home.
Here we go. Pippen plays Vinny.
What Vinny Johnson should do is turn around and take a look at who's guarding him. They've got to get the ball in the air. Here he goes.
No, we go to overtime. Boy, Vinny had it hang on the rim, but it wouldn't go. A good effort by him. We head to overtime, and somehow you almost knew this game was going to be like that. We'll be back right after this.
Johnson was hoping to get the ball to Isaiah Thomas and was not going to make an error, and if it was going to be an error, it was going to the basket. And against the defensive pressure of Scottie Pippen, he realizes he got a chance to get to the basket. They cut him off, make a tough angle. It almost goes in, and you again get the reaction of Michael Jordan as the ball game goes into overtime.
5-minute overtime period. Each team has 3 timeouts. You shoot the bonus on the 4th team foul. And if it's tied after this one, we keep playing 5-minute overtimes till somebody wins. No sudden death in the NBA.
Knowing you'll have the rule changed in a year, and we'll be playing sudden death in these situations.
Let's move things along. Here we go.
The Pistons have 3 timeouts plus the 20, and Chicago just has the 3 timeouts. A Piston and Isaiah Thomas right at the basket. They get an offensive foul.
And he may be hurting a little bit, too. 3rd foul on Thomas. No team foul. So Chicago gets it first.
Well, it's the right play right out of the box as they attack, but Hodges is clearly there as he comes through him. No basket.
Boy, if Chicago could win this game in overtime without Michael Jordan, who was fouled out, it might do a lot for this entire club. Sellers misses. Rodman the rebound. Nothing against Jordan, but he gets 95% of the attention from the media. And he's a great, great player, but these other guys have some pride, too.
Well, it might be a game where the rest of them come of age of trying to lob inside to Dantley, and Sellers did a good job of fronting and then couldn't get away. Picks up the 4th personal foul. Now again, watch Dantley. He can get you, worried about the arms in the position. Now he pops away and he holds them right there.
Back live. Thomas dribbles out on top. 4:12 left in overtime.
But these are the situations where you find out who the players are. Big steal, Hodges.
Hodges up the floor. Neither team is scratched yet. We're still at 92. We've played just over a minute. Cartwright almost walks. Now he backs in. Dantley fouled him.
And what I mean by that, who the players are, you find out who wants to get the rebound, who wants to make the pass, who wants to take the shot. Sellers limping a little bit. Dantley is going to work and makes a good move, and the defense is better by Hodges to make a save, and then they push it the other way.
Sellers limps off, and John Paxson checks in. Cartwright gives Chicago the lead. He's got a weird free throw shooting style, but he's pretty effective with it. He's 5 of 5 from the line tonight. make that 6 of 6. There's the story. We're in overtime. Isaiah gets past Hodges, banks it up and in. He has 32 points. Scottie Pippen crosses the line. 3.5 minutes remaining. Hodges for 3, got none. Rebound, Dennis Rodman. Knocked loose. Foul, Horace Grant.
Foul on Horace Grant, his third.
Only his third.
Well, we know Rodman is a guy that will get the big rebound for you. We've seen it in a lot of big games for these Detroit Pistons. He snatched that one. Grant tried to knock it away, picks up the first one.
We're tied at 94, 3:10 left in OT.
Now, Benny Johnson has a chance to work against Paxson. We'll see if they come to that. Rodman clears everyone out and follows.
Detroit leads by 2. Rodman has 14 points. 8 of them since the end of the third quarter. Pippen goes to the hole, hangs in the air, left it short. There's Rodman again. 2:42 left. Detroit by 2 and with the ball. They clear the zone. Thomas goes one-on-one. Now heads to the other side of the floor against Hodges. Thomas, no rebound. There's Rodman again. And he gets it to Vinnie Johnson. He has really stood up and been countered in this overtime. 14 rebounds now. 2:15 left in the overtime. Isaiah shot an air ball. Lambert is there to stick it back in. 2 offensive rebounds in a row for layups for Detroit, and they lead by 4. And we enter the 2-minute period, or almost. 2:02 left, and timeout is called by Chicago. They're down by 4, but a long way to go in overtime. We'll be back to Chicago.
Now, it doesn't happen very often that Michael Jordan is not around in these situations. You know he is their big pressure player. They're without him now. 2:02 to go. They're down by 4. They've got to find somebody to deliver. With the players out on the floor, the guy that handles the ball the best and creates opportunities for them is Scottie Pippen. The last time down, he missed an inside opportunity and missed their sticky fingers. Rodman came up with a big rebound, and they cashed it at the other end. So they have got to try to come through. Cartwright, Pippen is out of the ball game now. They have Sellers, Cartwright, Grant, Paxson, and Hodges. And Hodges and Paxson play out on the perimeter, so they're going to look for an inside opportunity.
I would imagine Cartwright's the guy they'd want to get if they can. Horace Grant looks for help. He can't unload at the moment. Now he does.
Shot clock at 3.
At the buzzer, blocked away, and a whistle. And the 24 seconds expired, and the ball goes to Detroit, and there's Rodman again.
And who made the play? It was Rodman. Great defensive pressure on the ball, and then a terrific reaction to get back and knock the ball away. Now here's Hodges trying to get in. He gets right by Lambert. Now watch Rodman fly into the picture and knock the ball away.
If Detroit scores here, Chicago's in a world of hurt. A minute 35. Well, you see the time in a minute. 12 on the shot clock now. 10.
Now, all night long, they have not allowed that to happen. They let Vinnie Johnson get down at the baseline. This time they miss.
Paxson for 3. In and out. Rebound and a foul on Cartwright. He hit Isaiah in the eye, and Isaiah wants a piece of Cartwright, but Lambert plays peacemaker.
But he's cut. That's why.
Yeah, he got him a good one. Isaiah is really upset. And a 20-second timeout is called by Chuck Daly. They want to try to stop the bleeding here. Looks like it's right in the corner of the eye, doesn't it?
Well, he came down, and you'll see he caught the elbow right there. Now he realizes that he's cut.
Team's third.
And that's when he goes a little crazy.
First team foul in the last 2 minutes.
And now the main thing they have to do is, 1, stop the bleeding, and 2, calm him down a little bit. It'll be a loose ball foul. The 20 has expired. I'm really surprised that Detroit doesn't take a full timeout here, but they don't. 1:14 left. Isaiah is calmed a bit.
Well, when you choke the assistant coach, I guess that helps get some of the anxiety. Elvin, why do you keep throwing me those assists? Nobody's making any shots after he passes the ball. Isaiah Thomas has had a great offensive night. He's got 30 points and 3 assists on the evening as he walks the ball up the floor. They want to make sure he stays in the game. They did not stop the bleeding, so they got no cut man over there.
A minute left. Lane Beer. It's a 6-point game. Chicago has to go for a 3 now, I would think, with 52 seconds left. Hodges fakes. Grant out there. Paxson in 3-point country.
Well, you know how hard it is to shoot 3-pointers. Hodges gets one away. Sellers rebound.
Oh, and he took a 2-point shot, which may have helped Detroit because it's still a 2-possession situation for Chicago. Dantley is fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Foul is on John Paxson. His third penalty.
Third foul on Paxson.
Well, they've got to stop the clock. All the Pistons are concerned about at this point is running the clock out, but it appears that the Pistons are going to get away with another hard-fought victory here at Chicago Stadium.
If they do, they'll be 3-0 against the Chicago team on the year. Cartwright about to check back into the Chicago lineup. And now the crowd heads for home. Many of them. It's a 5-point game.
For Brad Sellers.
Sellers leaves. Cartwright checks in. One out of the 2. Corzine the rebound. Paxson up the floor with 31 seconds. And a timeout is called by Chicago now. And Doug Collins upset. He wanted to call right away as soon as they got possession. They wasted about 5 seconds. It's 101-96 Detroit. Chicago will have the ball when we come back in overtime in Chicago. 31. Well, you see the story. Chicago will have the ball when play resumes. They need to make a 3-point basket, get the ball back, and make either a 2 to send it into a second overtime or a 3 to perhaps win it. It's possible, but it's tough. It's very tough.
And of course, without the presence of Jordan out there, the defense becomes much harder. They force you further out on the floor to shoot your 3-point attempt. And, you know, you got to think, well, we've got to get a score, so they may have to end up taking a quick 2 and then coming back and trying to draw fouls.
Sally checks into the game for Detroit.
They can't take a lot of time to get the ball in the air. Pippen on the drive.
He gets the basket, and a timeout is called by Detroit with 24 seconds left and a 3-point lead. And again, Steve, I'm not going to try to take the words out of your mouth, but now Detroit's priority number 1 is get the ball inbounds. Priority number 2 is trying to get it inbounds to somebody who figures to make their free throws, right?
That's right. You've taken all the words out of my mouth and now
shut up.
We'll see if Daly can follow your.
Good for you here, folks. Back to Craig Sager in Atlanta while we get straight.
Almost, Craig. We almost have it together. We know there's 24 seconds left in this ball game, and the team in blue has a 3-point advantage, and all they're trying to do is run the clock out. And, of course, if you're the Chicago Bulls, you want to force an inbound violation if you can't try to get your hands back on the basketball.
What do you think's wrong with that Dallas team?
Well, you know, when you start losing, you try to, you go internally, you start pointing the finger, and I think what they need to do is to win some basketball games. They have the talent to play much better, but they're not playing up to their capabilities, and it's real tough. You take a look at the 3-point shooters, Paxson and Hodges, they almost got the same number up.
But they have to get the ball back before they can work that kind of magic, and they have to keep Detroit from scoring. Detroit does not have to take a shot.
And we'll just try to pass it around. Isaiah gets fouled, so that means he'll have a chance to score. As Corzine grabs him very quickly.
That took only 3 seconds. Now, if Isaiah makes one of the two, that makes it a 2-possession situation again for Chicago. Now Dennis Rodman will check back in after the first free throw for defense, and Dantley will go out. Isaiah with 32. It's a 2-possession situation. Dantley out, Rodman in.
Again, you see the cut on Isaiah Thomas's eye.
The grizzly looking thing, isn't it?
Pretty soon we'll be traveling cut men.
It's a 5-point game. Rodman will pressure the inbounds pass to make him use up a little more time. Pippen crosses the line.
They got to think about a 3. Pippen takes a lot of time.
Paxson, desperation. No. Corzine. And a foul on Lane Beer, and that's the last thing he wanted to do was commit a foul. But he did, and I think he's gone. He leaves with 14 points.
First team foul in the last 2 minutes, so no free throws will be shot.
So it doesn't work out badly for Detroit at all. For Chicago again has to inbound. Dantley will take his place. 9 rebounds for Lane Beer, as well as the 14 points. Intercepted by Dantley. Rodman took a shot across the bridge of the nose, but he was a big factor in his team winning the game. In fact, but I don't have it. 11-9 on the road. The Bulls go to 24-17, 15-6 at home. And neither team need feel badly about this one. Michael Jordan had a bad shooting night tonight. Something like 7 out of 24 from the field for Jordan. 29%.
Well, it was an impressive effort by both teams, really, and different defensive philosophies coming into play. A low-scoring game, but it was the Pistons at the end behind Dennis Rodman making all of the big plays when they needed them with Michael Jordan on the bench.
That won't count if it's good, and it's not, and a hard-earned win for Detroit, and a heck of a ball game, and we hope you enjoyed it. The final, Detroit 104, Chicago 98. We'll have totals, we'll have highlights right after this.